Hello everyone, this is Dave from Dave's Recent Things. With everything that's happening in the world right now, I wanted to do a video that was bright, cheerful, colorful. I mean, something that would make me smile, something that would make you smile. And trust me, when I did this wreath, I totally smiled. It's colorful, it's bright, it reminds me of summer, and kind of takes my mind out of that kind of gray that's going on right now. But we're not going to talk about it today. It's going to be bright, it's going to be colorful, it's going to be cheerful, and I want to put a smile on your face. Today, we're going to be using 21-inch Deco Mesh plus 10-inch Deco Mesh to create a bubble wreath using an 18-inch wire wreath frame. Yes, that's a lot, I know, all in one video, but we're gonna do it. We're gonna try something new today that I've never done before, and I hope you enjoy it, and I really hope this colorful, bright, cheerful wreath puts a smile on your face. Why don't I just get started and I'll show you what I made. Here is the 18-inch wire wreath frame we're going to be using today, and I'm going to be using a 21-inch Deco poly mesh. This is in kind of a lavender purpley color, along with 10-inch by 10-yard Deco poly mesh in yellow. This beautiful sign that started it all in purple, yellow, and white. 2.5-inch wired ribbon. Now I don't end up using it. We'll talk about that later on. Some coordinating pipe cleaners, and of course my regular crafting utensils to create today's project. I am starting off with my cutting mat. I'm going to be using that today. If you don't have one, you can just grab your ruler. That works totally fine as well. I'm just using my cutting board. And what's the magic number for today? It is going to be 8. So today we're doing our bubbles at 8 inches. I'm going to start off just by unraveling my 21-inch Deco Mesh, and I'm going to place my 10-inch Deco Mesh right on top, right in the center. I've never done this before. This is kind of like a little experiment that I'm doing today. And I also have pipe cleaners that I just chopped right in half, and they're off to the side. First thing I'm going to do is I'm just going to gather the bottom half, then the top half, gather that together of both the Deco meshes, grab that pipe cleaner, wrap it around, and I'm going to have the stems facing the bottom for this. So now all I'm going to do is I'm going to take my pipe cleaner stem at the 0 mark, measure to the 8 inches, and then I'm going to gather that together. That's going to create our little bubble. So what I'm doing here is I'm not cutting any of the Deco Mesh. I'm going to use the entire roll for both the lavender and the yellow. I'm going to lay it down at the 0 mark, measure out to 8 inches, gather it together, place that pipe cleaner on there, and making sure that stem still faces down. And then I'm just going to move on to the next one. And I'm going to keep continuing doing this for the entire roll. Now for me, I ended up getting 42 pipe cleaner stems on there. So that's 42 of the pipe cleaners that I put on there. And then we'll explain that a little bit later as well, how I lay it all out. Once I get right to the end, I still add that pipe cleaner, and then all I'm going to do is grab those scissors and I'm just going to cut the excess off, and we've created that beautiful bubble train, as I like to call it, a bubble train or a bubble chain, if you will. But here it is with my 42 stems on there and my little bubbles all ready to attach. Here is my wire wreath frame and my bubble chain or bubble train. You can see I have the V shape where my stems are, and I'm going to attach those to the 2 inside rounds on the wire frame, and I'm going to add 7 pipe cleaners in one section all the way around. So there's 6 sections. That's 42, which is the amount of our pipe cleaner stems. I'm going to turn the wire wreath frame face down, and my V shapes on those pipe cleaner stems, they're going to face up, and the good side of our chain is facing down. All I'm going to do, like I explained before, I'm just going to wrap the pipe cleaners around the 2 inside wires of that wire frame. Wrapping that pipe cleaner around, twisting it in place, we have our first stem attached. Then I'm just going to open up that bubble a little bit, add that second stem on there, again between the 2 wire frames, twist it a couple of times, again opening up that bubble, and then we're going to push it right to the first one. And then I just continue on doing the same method of procedure for each one of those pipe cleaner stems. Like I said before, within each section, I'm putting 7 pipe cleaner stems, and you can see them all right here. And I just do a little quick count in my head to make sure I have the 7 there. I'm happy with that. Flip it over, and then you can kind of fluff out those bubbles a little bit right now before we continue on adding those pipe cleaner stems. And here I am adding the last one on there. And before I flip it over, I'm going to push through the ends of the pipe cleaner chain, or I should say the Deco mesh chain we created. And why I'm doing that is because I'm just going to grab my glue gun as well, and I'm going to add a little bit of glue right onto the ends there so it doesn't unravel. What I also like to do is I like to add a little glob of glue right on those pipe cleaner stems where we twist it, just to make sure that it doesn't untwist or anything like that. So I like that little added security. Now this is totally optional. You never have to do this. It's just a little thing that I like to do on my wreaths just to give a little added security. Here is the flip over, and look at this. I love how this turned out. Now, I never have done this before where I laid a 10-inch Deco mesh on top of a 21-inch Deco mesh for the bubble wreath, but I'm really, really happy with the results. I needed a little bit fluffing up now and then, but everything else just came out so gorgeous. And of course, these bright colors made me so cheerful and smile. Now we're ready to decorate the wreath. For that, here is a metal sign. This is about 12 inches in diameter. There's holes at the top and the bottom, and I'm just feeding pipe cleaners through and then twisting them on the back. And that's how we're going to attach this sign right to the wreath, by these 2 pipe cleaners you can see here. What a gorgeous sign. I love it. Now what I'm going to do is I'm going to bring back that base wreath. I'm going to place my sign right in the middle, feed those pipe cleaners through the back, flip it over, and then I'm going to feed those pipe cleaners to the 2 inside wires, wrap it around a couple of times, flip it back over, make sure the bottom part is where I want it to go and that everything's centered, flip the other side over again, working on the other side, and then twisting those on the 2 inside wires like we did the first time around. Flipping it over, I'm happy with it. It looks great. It looks centered. And of course, I'm already smiling because so I made a bow. I showed you ribbon right in the middle, or sorry, right at the beginning of the video. I decided not to use that ribbon. I used this purple ribbon. I made a bow, big, beautiful. I loved it. But when I put it on there, it just didn't work. And you can see here, I'm trying to figure out what's wrong, what's going on. I don't know if I like it. I'm contemplating. So I decided just to take that off. I'm showing you the ribbon I showed in the beginning, just kind of thinking, am I going to use that? Or how about maybe daisies? Put daisies on there. Again, I was having issues in my head about all of this, so I'm like, I'm going to stop that, and I'm going to cover up those pipe cleaner holes. And if you've seen my videos before, I like to take little pearls, add a little bit of hot glue on there, and then stick that pearl on there just to cover up the hole, cover up the pipe cleaner. And then I just decided every now and then on those white dots, I'm just going to add a small little pearl on there as well, just to add a little more interest to my sign. Something I love to do. I just decided to do a whole bunch on there. Then I put the bow on, and I'm like, okay, we're going to make this bow work. I'm going to make this bow work because I loved the bow, but it just didn't work in my head. Now, what do you guys think? Did you like the bow, not like the bow? Would you have done something different? What I decided to do was let the Deco mesh speak for itself and let the sign speak for itself. All I'm doing now is I'm just adding a little bit more pearls all around on the Deco mesh. I'm just hot gluing it down. This is where I decided I'm just going to leave the wreath the way it is. I'm not going to force the bow on there. I know, a bow-less wreath on Dave's recent things. Can you imagine? But it happened, and you know what? Once I started putting those pearls on there, I absolutely fell in love with this wreath just the way it is. You know what they say, sometimes simple is the best. Wasn't it Coco Chanel who said, take one thing off before you go outside? Simple, classic, elegant, of course, cheerful with all of those purple and yellow Deco mesh. Really, we are showcasing the Deco mesh today because it is just so bright and beautiful. along with that sign. It's nice, it's bright, it says welcome. Unfortunately, the lights in my studio didn't really pick up how bright this deco mesh is and how bright this wreath is. You can kind of see it here, but it's a little bit dull. But here's a little picture that I took in my studio with a little bit better lighting. You can really see how bright this wreath is and how beautiful it came out. Here's a little blooper reel for you. To bring a smile to everyone's face, especially with mine. Not with mine, especially mine. First blooper of the day. Plus, we're going to be using an 18-inch wire wreath frame. That is going to be the base of our, that. To put a smile on my face while I was doing it, and to put a smile on your face as well. The day, Test, 1, 2, 3, test. I'm so happy you joined me today while I created this bright, cheerful wreath, and I hope it really put a smile on your face like it did mine. Thank you so much for watching. Don't forget to subscribe and hit that notification bell so you can be notified whenever I upload a new video. Thank you so much for watching. Take care. Bye for now.